Rewritten! The gems had no idea what to do about Stephen. The moment that he fainted, panic had set in, nobody knowing what to do or how to save him or if he was already gone. Why did Pink fall asleep? What's wrong? White asked, still dumb to what was happening. He blacked out. It's like poofing for humans, Spinel explained, her mind racing as she tried to summon up any sort of knowledge that she had about human biology. The swelling at his throat and face didn't look normal at all, and she knew that humans needed to breathe to live or else they'd die very, very quickly. Don't ask about why she researched how to kill humans. She told them, humans need to get air into the organs on their insides, otherwise they die. Well, how do we know if she's doing that or not? Yellow demanded. Spinel thought for a moment, saying, I think his chest is supposed to be moving up and down. He was very clearly not doing that right now. I think he can't breathe. His throat looks like it's all swollen up. Does anybody here know CPR? Who's CPR? Can she help? White tilted her head. I don't know who CPR is. That's just something I read. I hope that if you knew her, you know what it meant. Spinel jumped from one foot to the other, unable to stand seeing Stephen like this without being able to do anything about it. Strange, seeing how she wanted nothing more than to watch him suffer only about a year ago whenever she had still been out for vengeance against his mom. But it wasn't like that anymore. He'd saved her from herself, and if anything happened to him, she didn't know what she'd do. Yellow, maybe you can alter her form so it stops swelling? Blue asked. Yes, I'll try that. Yellow scooped up the limp, brightly glowing boy with one hand, the other raising with the fingers rubbing together. The charge of electricity sparked off of her yellow gloves, and she touched the top of his head, the shine spreading to him to combat the pink. It seemed to work. She sized the swelling down until he looked normal again, his face no longer a deformed mess. The pink glow faded as well, returning his skin to its usual pale shade, but the curly-haired boy stayed asleep. She's still not moving. Now what? Yellow asked. Maybe we need to move his chest for him? Volleyball suggested. Just be gentle, Spinel warned. Humans are really, really fragile. His organs are super important. Don't squish him. Okay, fine, Yellow sighed, moving her thumb over to Stephen. Each of her fingers were 2 times bigger than the hybrid boy, easily capable of crushing him. Spinel watched anxiously as Yellow rubbed up and down Stephen's chest, tiny breaths escaping the hybrid. Still, he didn't wake up yet. Is it working? How long do I do this? Yellow asked, before turning to Stephen and raising her voice. Wake up, Pink! I'm doing the breathing thing! Hello? Suddenly, a cough shook from him. His hands reached up, vaguely trying to push the thumb away, muttering something. He was breathing on his own now, unevenly, though he still looked half asleep, struggling to properly wake up. Pink, stop being a human, then you don't need to worry about all this breathing stuff, White ordered from over Yellow's armored shoulder. Stephen didn't respond, obviously. His eyes flickered dully, still rolled back into his head. He groaned pathetically before going limp again. But at least this time, Spinel could clearly see the breaths going in and out. What did I just say? White sighed, leaning back with her lined eyebrows raised like he'd chosen to do that. Spinel squinted up at them in confusion. Okay, I thought you guys were just being stubborn, but do you seriously think that Stephen is just Pink in a costume? You do realize that he can't just stop being a human. He is a human, or half-human. He's got a human body. No. She's just being very moody right now, Blue corrected. She did that all the time before, shrieking until the windows broke. This is just another tantrum. I don't understand why she's doing it now. Come on, leave him alone, Spinel hollered up at them from where she was. If he just listened when he talked, maybe he wouldn't need to shout. He's a human named Stephen. That's what Pink wanted for him. The diamonds blinked down at her. Why would Pink want to be a human? White asked. They're so ugly. Stephen doesn't want to be a human. He learned to be content with it. He was born that way, Spinel snapped back. Pink is gone. You guys just won't accept that. I still disapprove, Yellow frowned. It's unnatural. It doesn't matter if you disapprove. That doesn't change the fact that he's a human, Spinel said, strangely bold. You should feel happy that he finally accepted that part of him. Do you realize how long it took for him to separate himself from his mom? All his life, and you're undoing all the progress that he made. This is all so hard for us, Blue began dramatically. I've mourned for Pink so long, and now that she's finally back, you want to tell me that she's gone forever? This is all so difficult. I just want Pink back. If you think it's hard for you, how hard do you think it is for him? Spinel hissed, very quickly becoming more and more riled up by their idiocy on this subject. He finally knows that he's Stephen, but when he tries to tell you that, you just ignore him. This isn't about you and your feelings. This is about Stephen, and how you keep trying to derail him. You should be mourning his mother with him, not trying to backtrack and convince him that he's someone he's not. Still, despite all of that, White raised her nose, saying, She's just confused. Her gem is still intact, therefore Pink is still alive. We just have to bring her out. Did you seriously forget already? They all jumped at the sound of her voice. Everyone turned around to look at Volleyball, who had once again nearly melted into the background from her reclusive shyness. Now, though, she was stepping forwards, bravely facing the three diamonds, glaring up challengingly at White. "You tried to bring her out," she told White. "I don't think it worked out very well for you. She's gone." White's face broke into a horrified expression, remembering something that she'd been trying to ignore before. The shining monarch stepped back, shaking her head, unable to meet Volleyball's one-eyed gaze. "What? White, what does she mean?" Blue and Yellow were asking. "What happened?" How do you remember that?" White gasped, ignoring the other two diamonds. "Your powers faltered for the very first time when it happened," Volleyball explained blankly, her face like a mask of stone. "It's the only thing I remember from all those centuries as your servant." Volleyball turned to Blue and Yellow, saying, "You two should remember it. Do you?" Blue and Yellow hardly seemed to know how to respond. They exchanged gaping glances, realization widening in their eyes. "That was real?" Blue began. "Wait, you too?" Yellow yelped. "Yes, of the pink glow, and the shields, and the scream! Holy stars!" They were both as speechless as ever after that exchange, leaning back in their chairs to process what they had thought to be a hallucinating dream of some sort. Blue's gaze drifted over to Stephen, who was still held delicately in Yellow's palm. She reached over, brushing a finger over his face to move a curl of hair out of his eyes. She's really gone," Blue whispered. "We know. That's what we've been trying to tell you," Spinel sighed. I guess I didn't want to believe it," Blue said slowly, remorse twisting in her eyes like a jagged spear. "I already lost her once. I thought I could save her with one last chance." "I shouldn't have tried to hide it from you two," White admitted. "I thought that maybe if I ignored what he said, I could order it to be a lie." She exhaled, tiredness weighing down on her silver eyelids. "But I can't order the universe around. I'd like to believe I can, but I can't." There was a silence as the three diamonds just gazed down at Stephen, seeing him for what he was for the first time. Eventually, Yellow slowly set the hybrid down, her hand blocking her eyes as she wiped at them. "Stephen's waking up. What do we do now?" she asked, solid determination in her expression whenever she let her hand drop. Spinel smiled gladly up at the diamonds, knowing how happy that he would be to hear that. She then rounded her attention back to what was happening. "I'm not sure," Spinel said, "but everyone here can agree that we all have one thing in common. We all love Stephen, and we're going to help him. We can't let our argument get in the way." Everybody nodded in agreement, gathering around. And now another guessing game began, with 5 light-composed aliens trying to learn how to heal an organic kid's issues. Whatever had happened, they were going to fix it.